All right, let's get into the soundtrack, TJ, of Backbeat. Rock and roll and grunge. United. 3, 2, 1.
Untitled Beatles podcast.
Now that was a soft clap, TJ, for Backbeat. Come on, give us a proper clap.
Oh, you want me to harden my clap? I'm going to harden my clap. One of the hits of 82, Quarter Flash. I'll clap it again if you want to clap on, clap off.
Yeah, let's clap on, clap on.
Let's do it.
Off.
Off.
Clap on.
Clap off. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That worked out great, Tony.
You did do it. That was perfect.
I really did do it. Tony, we're talking the Backbeat Soundtrack. And before we get into the Backbeat Soundtrack, I just want to say you are a way bigger Nirvana fan than me, but we can both agree, with all due respect to Kurt Cobain, that Paul McCartney, with the surviving members of Nirvana, doing Cut Me Some Slack, is the greatest Nirvana song ever. Three-vana.
Yeah. They were originally a trio. Then they were a four-piece for a brief time. Then they became a three-piece again. They replaced Chad Channing with Dave Grohl as the drummer, and they were known as Nirvana. They were a three-piece. And then Kurt Cobain died by his own hand in 1994, and they reunited, replacing Kurt Cobain with Paul McCartney, and they became Three-vana. Because it's a super group, TJ. When you get super groups together, it's gold. No matter what they do, it's going to be the best music you've ever heard because it's the best people ever making it.
It's how it works, Tony. And I really feel like, for real, if we can be cool with each other for a sec, Paul with Nirvana is fucking my generation's Wilburys.
I mean, in its strange way, it kind of is.
Kind of
is. Yeah, because Paul would be like the Roy Orbison or something, right?
No, I hope not.
Well, I mean...
Anti-Semitic and dead?
Hold on. He was that way?
No, he's not, but my mother heard it once, so she taught it to me, and it's incorrect.
And we've come full circle. All right. Thank you for... We avoided that lawsuit from the estate of the Orbison family.
Mercy.
Mercy. But the Larry Bud Melman version. Yeah. But he came Mercy.
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 He was out of rhythm, right?
They just put a bunch of reverb on it and he just said it out of nowhere.
Good night, America. Don't let anybody give you crap.
Yeah, it's the Untitled Beatles podcast. I'm Tony.
And I am TJ. We are also Gluck and Fro, and we are talking today the Backbeat Soundtrack. I've showed Tony my CD, which I've had in real time since it came out. I bought this in Des Moines, Iowa.
Is that right? Okay.
In the spring in '94. And yeah, this album sold an original score as well. So this is one of those movies that had two soundtracks, the soundtrack album and the original score. And I don't think this album sold. I did not Google how it charted, but I don't think it sold all that great. It drifted out of print. There wasn't vinyl till fairly recently. I don't know that this was what one would call a hit.
No, but there was definitely a lot of hype about it. And here's, I think this is actually how we stumbled upon doing this episode. Like a couple weeks ago, TJ, I was shopping at Rattleback Records in Chicago, and I stumbled upon a 7-inch from this soundtrack. It was Money backed with Dizzy Miss Lizzy. It was like $3.99. And I texted you a picture of it, and you're like, let's do it. We got to do it. So here we are.
Baby.
I didn't buy it, but I did give the soundtrack a listen.
Wait, how much was it?
I think it's still there, $3.99.
You asshole! You buy it and sell it for $4.99 on Discogs.
You're right. No, I should gut the working man. As a working man, I should betray my fellow working man and gutcha, and then go on gut Gutfield with my ice cream scooper. Are we still doing that bit?
Are we still doing that?
Are we still, or do we cut that bit?
Whatever happens, you say working man. I want to hear Rush.
I do too. Let's hear it. Canada, thank you.
Mercy!
So this soundtrack released March 4th, 1994. So it came out before the movie. I remember the hype on this because I liked Nirvana. This was recorded, God, and it was released actually technically, when Nirvana was still a working band because Cobain, it was April when he died. So yeah, like there was no Foo Fighters. It was Dave Grohl from Nirvana. It was Dave Pirner from Soul Asylum on vocals.
I'm waiting by the phone, waiting for you to call me up and tell me I'm not alone.
Mostly Greg Dooley, though, from Afghan Wigs on vocals. Thurston Moore from Sonic Youth.
I've been around the world a million times, and all you men are slime. A gun to my head, goodbye, I am dead. Wastewood rockers, it's time to cry. Hey!
Don Fleming from a band called Gumball.
Accelerators down tonight. We don't care if it's wrong or right.
And Mike Mills from REM on bass.
I would give my life to find it. I would give it all. Catch me if I fall.
So it is, it's like a super group of alternative rock superstars.
Mike Mills being the veteran, the kind of the oldest one in the group, I think, at that point, right?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, Thurston, like Sonic Youth was kicking around in the early 80s too. Those two bands kind of started around the same time, REM, right. Sonic Youth. And I think Gumball, I think Don Fleming had been kicking around for a while too, in a variety of bands.
Mike Mills and Thurston Moore were both born in 1958, and Don Fleming was born in 1957. Fleming formed the Velvet Monkeys in 1981, the same year Sonic Youth started. However, REM was formed first in 1980. Michael Stipe started the band to foil T.J. Shanoff and his newfound love for an old group called the Beatles.
But yes, to your point, I would consider Mike Mills to be, more of the senior member of the group.
And as we talked about, his bass playing is incredible. And I mean, look, Nirvana's the biggest band in the world at this point when this came out, but REM is still pretty huge too. So that's a big get. And this is all produced by Don Was, super producer,
right?
Performer as well. But Don Was has been a best hung his hat at being a producer. And one of the cool things about the album that I always liked, and where I've always defended the early Beatles as being kind of punky, not like Brewster, but like a kind of a punk music aspect of just taking, Preludin and rocking out and playing everything really fast, is it did kind of feel like proto-punk. I know that these musicians aren't punk musicians, but as alternative rock people, to bring them in and give them, 2-3 days to rehearse and do all these songs together to give it that early Beatles spontaneity, I think was a pretty cool choice. It's overall, this record doesn't feel, I don't know that I've ever loved it, but it doesn't feel studied. It doesn't ring fake to me.
No, it doesn't ring fake. And that, I think that's because of all the players. I believe in the integrity of all these players. I think it comes off as slick, and I'm going to put that all on Don Was, from Was Not Was, if you remember that.
Everybody Walk the Dinosaur.
But it was all done in a pretty quick way. I believe they only recorded like one day or something like that. Ocean Way recording in Los Angeles in March of 93.
Now a Sweet Green.
That's true. Yeah, everyone records everything at home now, so might as well.
They have a plaque up with Greg Dooley's microphone.
Yeah. Hey, whatever by that microphone thing, give me those herbs to sprinkle on top.
Can I get the Afghan wig special?
At Sweetgreen, we believe in building healthier communities.
Yeah. So it was done in a slapdash way. I do, like I said, I'll say it again and again. I do think the production is a little slick for my tastes, considering, like some of these bands, like Soul Asylum was part of the Minneapolis alternative rock scene, also in the 80s. They came up with the Replacements in Husker Du, Babes in Toyland. They were all on Twin Tone Records. And now they're riding sky high. I think Runaway Train has been in the charts.
Runaway train, never going back. Long way on a one-way track. Seems like I should be getting somewhere.
Never liked that tune. I'll be very clear that I've never liked that song. It drives me a little nuts.
Yeah, it's what it is, right? It's pop.
I like a lot of, I'm not above pop. I don't like that song. I don't like that tune. And part of the thing is I have a weird, I'm a classic rock nerd in a lot of ways. I love the Black Crowes. I've never enjoyed the Counting Crows. And I feel like Runaway Train has a Counting Crows jangly feel. That's some of the REM stuff. That kind of jangly pop that's going like this. That kind of drives me a little cuckoo.
Yeah. They did have some stuff that rocked. I remember I had to play them a lot when I worked radio, and there was one or two songs I think I did like playing by them. Their names I forget.
Oh, is this 94, 95-ish you're talking about? Was one of those tracks Michelle?
Now, did you ever, speaking of Michelle, did you ever get into Afghan Wigs? They were like a Critics' Darling kind of a band.
I didn't. It's one that I probably talked about. I probably lied and said I saw them in concert to try to get laid. I cannot name one Afghan Wig song.
Yeah, they were always, I remember trying to get into them because they actually did do kind of soulful stuff. They were like one of the few indie bands that wasn't just like flat out like white, So they were trying to do something that had a little swagger to it where you're moving side to side.
I got your phone number, baby. I call you sometime.
But I prefer Greg Dooley's vocals on this record.
That's so interesting because I prefer Dave Perner's vocals. I love the Paul stuff. I always have.
Oh, okay. I did see Sonic Youth. I got to see them twice. I saw them in 95 and then again at the Bumbershoot Fest in Seattle in 99 after their gear got stolen and they had to like improvise and it was pretty cool.
I'm so glad Mick was there to help kind of guide their RO.
Know that improvisation is the least important thing you'll ever do in your entire life. It means nothing.
I did see Nirvana. I got to see Nirvana at the Aragon.
Really?
Yeah, I saw them in 93 at the Aragon, and that was a great show.
How have I never heard? That is amazing.
It was Jawbreaker, Mudhoney, and then Nirvana. And then they played Teen Spirit somewhere halfway through the set, and like half the room cleared out. And I wish they had played it earlier. Like when I saw Devo and they opened with Whip It, and people were like, oh, what are they going to play now? And all the morons left. And so, like, the true fans had more room.
Buddy, another Beatle connection. When I saw Paul at the Rosemont Horizon in 89, he opened with Figure of Eight, and 40,000 people streamed out.
This one's called Biker Like an Icon.
I've never seen REM live. TJ, have you seen REM live?
That's great. It starts with an earthquake, bird snakes, and airplanes. I've never seen REM live. I am a hurricane. I know. I don't want to see REM live.
Got it.
And if I do, they better not do Number 9 Dream.
Or you will throw a Number 9 Revolution.
The Watusi.
The twist.
Eldorado.
Hey, let's talk about Gumball real quick. I never got into these guys. They were one of those, I don't know what bands. But I gave them a spin for this, and I liked them all right. They covered The Dam, and they covered Black Flag, so they did some cool stuff. And Don Fleming did some stuff with Julia Cafritz from Pussy Galore, so I thought that was cool. That's cool. Well, should we go track by track on this?
Sure.
Now, they don't, like you said, TJ, they don't do any Lennon-McCartney songs. These are all covers of songs that the Beatles did in Hamburg. Is that true? Is there any songs here that you think they never did?
In my knowledge of their Hamburg and just general cavern set list, I think they did all of these songs.
Okay. The one I'm worried about.
You worried?
The one I was wondering about was Come On Everybody.
Oh, well, come on, everybody, and let's get together tonight. I got some money in my jeans, and I'm really gonna spend it right.
I didn't know they did that one. I don't know.
That's Eddie Cochran, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, everybody, let's jam at a party.
So it starts off with Barrett Strong's Money, which, of course, the Beatles did on With the Beatles.
The best things in life are free, but you can't give them to the birds and bees. I need more. That's what I want.
It's a cool cover of Money to start things off.
See, I already think it sounds slick, but it's 94. They're recording at Ocean Way. They're going to use good microphones. I don't expect them. Here's what I do know. I do know that he was not trying to recreate the sounds that they had with 60s gear and like one microphone over the drums, and we're going to use vintage drums, blah, blah, blah. These are the sounds. It's going to be Dave Grohl playing his Tama drum set with the big power toms that are, longer than bongos. And it's going to have a big, crisp sound. I just wish it was a little dirtier. That's all. I don't know. This is rock and roll. I want it to be dirty.
So funny you say that, because even though what I'm about to compare this to is, I think, 5 or 6 years previous, the soundtrack reminds me a bit to a soundtrack I loved growing up, and it's a soundtrack to La Bamba.
Okay.
Mitchell Froome produced it, but it's Los Lobos doing the Richie Valens stuff. Marshall Crenshaw does Buddy Holly.
Crying, waiting, hoping you come back. I just can't seem to get you off my mind.
Great stuff on there, but it sounds very digitally mixed. And this soundtrack, as I wave the CD in the air, feels very digital. It's not a warm record.
That's what I want. That's what I want.
And I think that's just, it speaks to it, the time. And yes, this is the producer's vision. He wanted to update these songs with a new sound.
I give him credit for it. So it's not a period album. He's trying to get current performers performing these old school songs in a current way. That's badass versus replicas like we mentioned a week or two ago, The Art of McCartney, which is Paul's touring band doing every song note for note in lower keys. That's no fun.
I agree. Hear me out. What if Steve Albini had produced this or recorded this, we'll say, because he didn't produce?
Steve, can we keep rolling?
There's ways to get dirtier sounds out of new, instruments or new recordings,
You better lay on my suit jacket, baby. I can get hold of it.
But that's what separates Steve Albini from Don Was. With all due respect to Don Was, Steve Albini was one of a kind at creating the warmth of a studio sound on record. No one else could.
Well, this was the single, Money, and there was a video for it as well. Did you take a look at it?
I didn't, no.
Yeah, man, it's what it is. It's black and white. It's the spirit of this movie and this soundtrack. It's slapdash. It's one take. It's here you go. So there's nothing fancy or special about it, I guess.
Because when I grew up, Tony, we had videos like Thriller and Everybody Wants to Rule the World, and we had really,
and Whip It,
and Whip It. We had great videos there is a wonderful Beatle related one that has Paul McCartney and Linda McCartney. It's called Say Say Say, where Michael is trying to F his sister LaToya.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention?
Step right up, step right up. Let me tell you all about the Mac and Jack Wonder Potion. Yes, my friends, it can give you the strength of a raging bull. I'll try one. Here's a young gentleman.
Have fun. Fun viewing. Have fun viewing. You can see there was one live performance of the Backbeat Band at one of those MTV Movie Award things, and they played this song, so you get to see them in action.
Here featuring members of Nirvana, REM, Sonic Youth, Gumball, Afghan Wigs, and Soul Asylum, the Backbeat Band.
Pauly Shore won for Best Schindler's List parody that year. It was quite a ceremony.
Next up, it's the Long Tall Sally. See, I like the energy on this. So
I love this one. I love the singing.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think Grohl going for the rolls is fun. Yeah, and this is a Dave Pirner one for you,
and
TJ.
You mentioned the drumming. He's doing Grohl rolls.
He's doing the Grohl roll, man.
Uncle John, Long Tall Sally, Strawberry coming and it doesn't make it out, baby. Whoa, baby. Oh, baby. Wanna have some fun tonight.
I think there's some fun rock and roll solos. This one I like. This one I think is a success. Yeah, who cares what I like? I'm just saying, like, Integrity Police, but this one's real fun.
I agree.
There's also a Greg Julie vocal take, TJ, which I prefer.
Well, Long Tall Sally, she's pretty sweet. She got everything that Uncle John did, oh, baby. Yeah, baby. Ooh, baby. It's time for the night.
Yeah, you sent me. I never knew the B-sides. I think the Greg Dooley version of this is pretty cool.
Yeah, right?
It's raw. It sounds like a rehearsal take.
Yeah, it's fun. Another fun one, I think, Bad Boy.
A bad little kid moved into the neighborhood. He won't do nothing right. His report card looks no good. He don't want to go to school and learn to read and write. He sits around the house and plays that rock and roll music all night. Well, he puts up back on teacher's chair, put your love in little girl's hair. Now, Junior, behave yourself. Buys every rock and roll book from the magazine stand.
I thought this was going to be the lazy, crazy one.
See, disappointments abound. I knew you would get disappointed at one. You know who I blame? Don Was.
I do too.
It's true what they say. Don was not was.
Was now was.
Was not was. That should be the new driving sobriety test. Who produced the Backbeat record? Don was not was. Was not was. Don was.
Was not was. He was walking a dinosaur, your officer.
I will say there's more reverb on the guitar, giving it a surf element that the Beatles never really had. I don't ever really detect a surf sound, other than Cry for a Shadow, maybe.
But I agree with you. This is better than anything the Beatles ever did.
Well, I'll tell you what's better than anything Ferris Bueller ever did is their version of Twisted Shout.
Well, shake it up, baby. Now. Shake it up, baby. Twist and shout. Twist and shout. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, baby. Now. Come on, baby. Come on and work it on out. Work it on out.
This one needs horns. Hey, Casey.
Add horns to the Backbeat version and really piss Paul off. And then add Paul's character going like, I don't think we should do this, you guys.
Look, I'm wearing a J. Crew tweed jacket that in 1994 was $200. That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of quid.
What is it then? What is it between you two?
What is it?
Yeah, what's going on?
Are you saying I'm a queer? Is that what you're saying? No.
This version tries too hard to get energy. This version is one where they all gave up before they started doing this. They committed to it, but how do you This sound, what I'm going to say sounds incredibly stupid, so allow me a moment.
Okay.
This is 8 years after Ferris Bueller came out. This song was still very much in the zeitgeist in the early 90s. There's no way they could improve upon what that Beatles version was putting in everyone's ears at every wedding, bar mitzvah, funeral, NBC renewal. This song was being played at everything.
That's true. So it's safe to say, TJ, that they recorded this one after lunch. First song after lunch. You're a little groggy. Please, Mr. Postman is next. And TJ, I have no notes.
No, I think...
Meaning, like, I didn't write any notes down.
I'm trying... Me in 94, this might have been My Rape Me.
That's a Nirvana reference, by the way.
Wait, what?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Wait! Oh, yes, wait a minute, Mr. Postman. Wait! Wait, Mr. Postman. Mr. Postman, look and see. Oh, yeah. Is there a letter in your bag for me? Please, I've been waiting a long, long time. Oh, yeah. Since I heard from that girl of mine. There must be some word today from my girlfriend so far away. Please, Mr. Postman, look and see if there's a letter for me.
Yeah, I'm with you, Tony. I don't have any notes other than I want to just say to you as a non-Beatle cover guy, the original John version of this I think is underrated, and I think you should listen to John doing this with the Beatles.
Oh yeah, check it and see one more time for me. You gotta wait a minute, wait a minute. Oh yeah, wait a minute, wait a minute. Oh yeah.
And that's just where we are now. We're about halfway through this soundtrack, and it is like, okay, all right, this is fun. But because it's a lot of the same, it's just kind of going by.
Tony, it never takes off. It feels like a novelty record from the beginning because while you can approximate the energy, you can't approximate the band.
Yeah. Then we get Come On Everybody, the Eddie Cochran song. This is another Dave Pirner vocal.
I like this one.
Yeah.
Well, come on everybody, let's get together tonight. I got some money in my jeans and I'm really gonna spend it right. Well, I've been doing my homework all week long. Now the house is empty and the folks are gone. Woo! Come on everybody. Come on everybody.
It's got like a Paisley Underground feel to it. I feel like I'm listening to 80s Rickenbackers on this version.
Yeah, I hear Brad Paisley
Brand new Chevrolet.
and Paisley Park.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life.
Okay, let's do it. Rock and roll music. This one has good energy, I think.
That's why I go for that rock and roll music. Any old way you choose it. It's got a backbeat, you can't lose it. Any old time to use it. It's gotta
But
be rock and roll music.
Dave Grohl doing halftime on the hi-hat. It feels a little like Ringo in 66.
Just snoozing at Budokan.
A little bit.
Just let me hear some of that rock and roll music. Any old way you choose. It's got a backbeat, you can't blues it. Any old time you use. Gotta be rock roll music. If you wanna dance with me.
There's something about when you don't do the Ramones hi-hat thing and you're just doing the halftime on the hi-hat. There's something about it that it doesn't give it the energy that obviously 2 times as much hi-hat does.
You know what's interesting there, Tony, is I feel as if as good of a drummer as Dave Grohl is, I'm not saying Ringo's a better drummer, but Ringo's variety in the Beatles version blows what Dave Grohl does here out of the way. Like, I talk a lot about Ringo's sense of taste and trying things. Ringo's got a different pattern for about 2/3 of the song aren't the same drum pattern.
Yeah.
I miss that. It's between George Martin's piano and Ringo's drumming and John's vocals. I think Rock and Roll Music is one of the underrated covers. And I've always loved it because of the connection to Complete Beatles. To me, it's I viewed that song since I was 8 or 9 years old, Tony, as being important because it opened the Complete Beatles.
Well, there you go. Context is king, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, another one where I think Grohl falls short is in Slow Down, the next one.
Agreed. It never lifts off.
Yeah. I like this song a lot, so it's one of my more favorite covers that they do. But again, you know what I think it is? Dave Grohl is not a swing drummer. He doesn't swing. He's very much punk rock. Punk rock doesn't swing too much unless you're doing like Meat Puppets or something. But like, I think you need a little swing on this song, and Dave Grohl is just doing his like bum, 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 bum.
Well, come on, pretty baby, what you want with me? Come on, pretty baby, what you talk with me? Come on, pretty baby, give me one more chance. Try and save our romance. Slow down. Baby, now you're moving way too fast.
Therefore, this is not as successful as it could be, but I still, out of all these songs, this one I prefer over others.
Well, because it's all the Larry Williams stuff is fun.
Yeah.
So to hear, I mean, I hate to say forget the Beatles version, but to hear 90s artists covering Larry Williams is in itself pretty cool. And another testament to the GD Beatles for loving that music so much that in 1994, covers of Larry Williams songs aren't, whoa, what is this? Like the Beatles helped keep that music alive.
Yeah, yeah. Those guys and the Stones and the Animals. I mean, that was a whole thing.
Yes.
But yeah, the Beatles had the biggest spotlight, and the biggest showcase for these songs to live on. Roadrunner.
I'm a road runner, honey. Beep, beep. I'm a road runner, honey, and you can't keep up with me. I'm a road runner, honey, and you can't keep up with me. Come on, that's right, baby, baby, you will see. Yeah, yeah, beep, beep.
So Mike Mills from REM gets a vocal, kind of a wacky.
I'm a road runner, baby.
It's a big county fair for me.
It's all kind of fair. I will say it's ironic and maybe coincidental, a little too ironic, that the worst song on the album belongs to the REM guy. So stand.
So one of these days we're gonna count how many times you do that.
I'm fine. Drinking game it. You ready for this? Something I didn't. You mentioned counting. I didn't mention in the previous episode. In the film, the scene where Astrid finds Stu.
Yes.
It takes her 16 minutes to say anything.
Mercy!
Her last words to Stu are "ta-da," as he's lying there with orange blood coming out of his mouth. You need that highly poisonous Kodak photo flow to make real blood.
Come along with me to my dark room.
Yeah, so that's Roadrunner. Honestly, my favorite version belongs to the Animals, but that's just me.
Like the Beetle Barkers?
Yes, the Beetle. When
say
I
the
refer to
Animals.
animals, I always am referring to the Beetle Barkers.
I went back after our episode and listened to it a lot.
You're crazy. I tried. I was like, oh, we could work it out. That one was actually pretty good and fun. And let me listen to the one after that. And I made it like 3/4 of the way through. I'm like, all right, I can't.
Dude, Oobla Dee Oobla Da is the made with best one because it's a barnyard party. You can smell the barn poop if you listen correctly.
Okay, I'm definitely not listening to it ever again, man. That sounds like my hell. We got the Chuck Berry song, Carol. Again, so as my note is, some of these I have no comments for.
Well, it's interesting. This is the first time I heard this song.
Is that right?
And then Live at the BBC came out.
Oh, right. Shortly thereafter.
Months later, and I heard it there. This was an important CD. It really was to me when I was 20 years old. Some of these songs I'd never heard before. I mean, Come On Everybody, I'm sure I'd never heard. Roadrunner was one. Carol was one. So those are 3 songs until the CD I did not know.
What about Good Golly Miss Molly? Had you heard that one?
Oh, yeah. And I knew it because it's part of the medley that they put in Oldies 104.3 forever.
That's right.
Magic 104, WJMK, Chicago. Good golly, Miss Molly, sure likes the ball. Good golly, Miss Molly, sure likes the ball. When you're rocking and rolling, can't hear your mama call.
This one to me is good. It's got a good solo in it, I thought.
Yeah, it's sung well, too. And this is played punk. I think Dave Grohl's drums are great on this. He keeps it pumping.
Yeah, I want to say the tempo feels like it actually does pick up in a like a good, real human way, like the way it should, like the way rock and roll sometimes does speed up.
Well, Grohl checked his swatch; he had a reservation.
It ends with 20 Flight Rock, sung by Dave Pirner. This is not my favorite song, to be quite honest. I don't really care for the song, but I know that its significance ranks, legendary. It looms large.
It looms large in the Beatles legend. Because of its significance, this is one the first time I ever heard was in that 89-90 tour. 20 Flight Rock I had not heard before, and that's a year after recording sessions, and I'm really in my Beatle nerd moment. So 20 Flight Rock, because of seeing McCartney do it live, has an important place in my Beatle growth heart. So I think it's cool that it ends the CD.
Well, I gotta go with the Beckett machine when it comes to rocking. She's the queen. We love to dance on Saturday night. All alone, I can hold her tight. But she lives on the 20th floor of town. The elevator's broken down. So I walk 1, 2, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 4. Up to the 12th, I'm on the drag. 15th floor, I'm ready to sag. I get to the top, I'm too tired to rock.
I don't believe this was ever pressed on vinyl, certainly not in the U.S. Maybe it was in the U.K.
I don't ever remember seeing that, right?
They did with a different cover. They have a U.S. or global vinyl pressing from a couple years ago. I don't have. And I don't know that I would buy this on vinyl, Tony. As much as I love my Beatle collecting stuff, will I listen to this on vinyl more than once for the novelty? No, it's uploaded. I don't know if it's even streaming. This is uploaded in my iTunes. That's all I need.
It's not streaming. That's the thing. You can listen to it on YouTube and things like that. Or you can go to Rattleback Records and pick up that 7-inch. Oh, by the way,
not before I do.
On the flip side, it's Dizzy Miss Lizzy. That's a Greg Dooley vocal.
Come on, give me fever. Put your little hand in mine. You make me dizzy, Miss Lizzy. Girl, you look so fine. You're just a rockin' and a rollin'. Girl, I should have wished you were mine.
The CD is like 36 minutes long. I wish the B-sides... I didn't know about any of those B-sides until you told me about that, Tony.
Yeah. Some of them are pretty fun. And now you hipped me. There's a 2011 West End cast recording. Should we spend 2 minutes talking about this thing?
Tony, the amount of Broadway musicals in my personal collection is absurd. Most I don't even listen to, but if I've done the show, I like to have the recording of it. I don't like the mixture of rock and musical theater. I love them both individually. The Backbeat cast recording made me mad. Got it at Reckless on a high purchase about 10 years ago. It's like a dumb day of walking around. This is
Angry
back,
high.
Back when Reckless. Yeah, when Reckless. That wasn't even angry. Reckless was still on Broadway at the time. I was meeting my dad for dinner at Wild, which is a fun restaurant, but I was in a bad mood about something. Second City passed me over for this gig. I'm going to get high and buy something I don't need at Reckless. And I bought and I remember getting home and like it made me angrier. It was like it was like getting bad weed. What did you think as a non-musical theater guy and a Beatle lover? Talk to me about your thoughts on the 2011 West End cast album of Backbeat.
Musical theater and rock and roll do not make good bedfellows, TJ, because there is no sex happening in that bed. I'll bullet point my notes on the songs that were written by Lennon and McCartney. I gave those a spin. I couldn't listen to the whole thing, man. Please, Please Me. The Sound of Male Erectile Dysfunction. I Want to Hold Your Hand. This is when the Beatles were introduced to Quaaludes in Hamburg.
Oh yeah, tell you something. I think you'll understand when I say that something. I wanna hold your hand. I wanna hold your hand.
That intro, the opening's so slow. Bum
It's
bum
slow.
bum da 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 bum bum bum.
I will say, they make some interesting choices. P.S. I Love You has an a cappella opening.
As I write this letter and send my love to you, remember that I'll always be in love with you. Treasure these few words till we're together. Keep all my love forever.
That one to me sounds the closest, which makes sense because P.S. I Love You has kind of an almost musical theater vibe.
Sure.
It could go that way in the Till There Was You vein.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was interesting for Love Me Do. They did do the Andy White version.
They had to. You got to get the tambourine
There's
in
a
there
tambourine
too.
and a big crash. Well, I'll leave it at that. It's, do we have to do all these things?
Tony, I wish I'd been brought in to be a consultant. I would have said these words. Team, great work. I want you to pick up the tempo on every song by 40%.
Yeah.
And if it's too fast, I will tell you, slow it down. But Mr. Conductor, I want 40% faster. When Please Please Me, my favorite Beatles song starts.
Exactly.
I almost wish there was like a musical theater orchestration to give it something. It's the worst Beatle cover of all time.
It's not.
Beatles and Broadway don't belong. As I would turn down a chance. It's the reason Beatles Love moved me so much, Tony, because you had the Beatles masters. You didn't have people trying to sing.
Yeah, no wigs.
No wigs. Well, cost prop wigs and Afghan wigs. Hashtag Greg Dooley.
Hashtag Greg Dooley. Yeah, well, overall, I do think it's kind of a square pegs into a round hole situation. I think once you get over the slick production, I'm talking to myself here, and the mediocrity that often results from these all-star kind of lineups, where the all-star thing never works. Let's just be honest, okay? It's never going to produce the most amazing music ever. The most amazing music ever is made by the bands how they are. What do you think? What do you think?
I agree with you. I think Concert for Kampuchea would argue with you if you've not heard Rockestra lately. That's a joke. But Tony, I could not agree with you more. I think it's a noble effort. I disagree with Ebert's review we mentioned last week about the movie, kind of what's the point. Like, I'm glad that they explored it. They made a cool choice having these 90s era, in some cases 80s, but 90s current era bands doing the songs. Think of the other albums that were on the charts in 94. That's Nirvana's MTV Unplugged, Live Throwing Copper, probably my favorite Beastie Boys album, Ill Communication, Pearl Jam's Vitology, Tom Petty Wildflowers, TLC's Crazy Sexy Cool. I think the Backbeat soundtrack to the Beatle fan is the Crooked Rain to the Pavement fan.
Wow.
Out on tour.
The Backbeat Band.
Nature kids, they don't have no function. I don't understand what they mean. I could really give a fuck.
The Traveling Wilburys.
They're elegant bachelors. They're foxy to me, are they foxy to you?
Well, thank you, TJ. Thanks to our producer, Casey Baker, and of course, our Reachurst assistant, Glenn the K. Any parting words for our Backbeat Off listeners? Excuse me. Yeah.
Thank you to Jack Reacher, our Reacher assistant. I want to say for a second, the Backbeat soundtrack. Tony and I will be under the stairs at Fest for Beatle fans, jamming, but only to the Backbeat soundtrack.
Yeah. No pants required.
That's a great Phil Collins parody. That album gave us Susu Studio.
Which is about semen.
Semen.
See, that's what that song's about. I knew it. I knew I liked it so much. It's sexy.
Poppy lived with Patty. All right, I gotta go.
You gotta go, man.
Stop.
Untitled Beatles Podcast. Like and subscribe.
You know what though? I think this is a nice, fun paycheck for these indie-leaning major label rock fellas. I
agree.
I think it was. I'm happy that those guys got a nice fat check from the Don Was Corporation of Slick Rock.
Was not was LLC.
That's what I want. That's what I want.
This is the first and maybe the last and only time the Backbeat Band will ever play.